Last one cut off, but I figured I'd play it anyway. I did upload a video of getting the birds out of here. They're in a bucket behind me, peeping away with their big adult feathers. It's kind of cute. And then kind of wanted to show how dirty brooders get, and I'm surprised because I've heard so much about how filthy they get, and maybe it's because I'm using yesterday's news cat litter as the bedding. The water's in need of change 2 to 3 times a day minimum. I mentioned in the last video that I've watched them several times, like, I just changed that 2 hours ago. I've watched them several times back right up to it, line their butt right over it, and poop. So I'm really looking forward to being able, getting the poultry nibbles that I ordered. So that's one thing. I just end up, oh, ouch. I end up picking it up. Oh, there's so much crap on my sink right now, but I end up picking it up and just, dumping it and rinsing it out. That's really it. So there's nothing special about this really, except how tightly I tighten it down because I'm worried it'll leak. It hasn't leaked on me, but I'm worried that it will. So, empty jar, empty and rinsed out base. Ran my finger over it to get any like sludge, if there is any, out of there. Going to have to modify this because it's not working as well as I thought it would. But the birds are starting to have the instinct to dig into their bedding for food. So it's not quite as wasteful as it was. There's newspaper in the bottom of here, but I'm pretty sure I'm still going to have to dump the rest of it. I brought, there's only about an inch of recycled newspaper cat litter. I brought a bucket. Because I'm gonna put that in the compost. Bird schmutz is really good for compost. Where did I end up putting the newspaper? Did I bring it in? There's a kitten waiting right outside the door. And there's an open bucket with birds, so let's just try and be careful here. You're so good. Oh, it's an empty bucket, huh? You're so good, thank you. Where is my... Here it is. Okay. Sorry, kittens. You can come in when the bin is closed. So I just have been saving the little, like, Aldi's ads and stuff like that that always come in the mail. No matter what kind of crisis, they still want to send you advertisements. And then seems it doesn't actually require much. So I'm actually going to use less bedding than last time because I think, honestly, unless they get a lot messier, I may not need to clean this again before they go outside. With it getting warmer and them filling out their feathers. Since this isn't particularly working, I've just been reducing the level because I overfilled in order to be able to use it. And yeah, so I'll do a video on adjusting my automatic dispensing chick feeder because it's sort of okay, but not good enough. Alright, so then I'm still adding a little bit of magic water to their water, but I have reduced how much because I'm getting close to running out. And then I really tighten this down because what I don't want to do is dump 6 or 8 ounces of water right into the bedding. I then take a look across and make sure that the lid is flush, because you know how sometimes you can tighten things crooked. And then ready, set, boink. Because they kick their bedding, I've been using, the Selecticise type of paper towel, putting it right underneath that water. There's now food in their open dish. There's food in the dispenser that's not doing great for them. And so we can put the birds back in. Let's turn on the flash again. Oops, sorry. I'm so conscious about my hand being in there that I'm not hitting it right. This is such a feisty baby. That hop is what they do when they're nervous, when they think there's a predator, is what this one just did when I turned the light on. And that is why you have to have a very short cage or a cage over 6 foot, is so that they slow down by the time they'd hit their little heads. So we'll get Feisty Baby in first, then Squawky Baby. You're the one that screams. And then you're the other one that gets feisty, because you're old enough to really have some strength. Again, the bucket was out in the rain. And I brought it in after rinsing it a bit, but not much. I figure they'll be fine. I just need to contain them so they're not all over the place. And I'm just amazed at how many feathers they have. Like, just wow. They love the newspaper in the corners. They already spilled food all over the floor. That's ridiculous. Hens are ridiculous. So yeah, I stopped putting as much water in the water dispenser, because while they drink a lot of it, they sure mess it quicker than an entire quart worth would. So this is less waste. It's got a little bit of chick water in it, but not a lot. And it's warm enough in here right now, I don't feel rushed to put their heat back on. And with as many feathers as they're starting to get, it might be getting time to maybe only turn the heat on at night when the temperature drops down, because this room doesn't have heat in it, which is weird because it's a bathroom, but I have radiator heat, and this bathroom was an afterthought, so you can't leave the door closed in the wintertime, like for a long time, because it could freeze the pipes. Very annoying, but what can you do? I just only close the door when I'm using it. So maybe just turn on the chick heat when it's nighttime pretty soon, because you're just getting pretty fluffy here. And it is hot in here right now. Like, I'm heated. It's toasty. Let's see what the little temperature thingy says the room is. 81 degrees. That's about what it's been reading inside their brooder while I had the heat running. So yeah, I definitely don't need to turn it on with any rush. Yay, there's already poop in the water. Yeah, we can't be a perfectionist about that. It's not going to work. All right. We'll let them fuss over that newspaper being exposed. They love pecking at it, but it seems obsessive, not like they're having fun. They're getting so big so fast. Ha! You were like the size of a $50 coin 2.5 weeks ago. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. I hope everybody's in frame. Yeah, pretty well. You can start maybe to hear the rain come down outside. It's just started to rain a bit. Yeah. Maybe another week and we might start to know who's going to lay eggs and who's going to crow. That doesn't mean that they'll actually start to do those activities. They start to do that at 6 weeks old. But in another week, we will have feathers that are the gender indicator on this type of quail. Not all quail end up being able to be gendered by their feathers, but the Coturnix pharaoh feathering, I think that's the right way to say it, that style of feathered bird, there's gender differences, there's sex differences in their feather coloration, so it's easier to tell. Can't tell yet, though, because that difference is on their chest, and their chest doesn't have adult feathers yet. So, just gonna hopefully I'll have at least one of each. That way I'll be able to get more of you guys in a bit, before too long. Do it all over again. Huh. Alright, well, the cat is, pawing away like crazy under the door. I'm gonna close this back up, and, yeah, that was that. Just gonna go put that litter with all their droppings on it in the compost that has the weeds in it, because I think that's where I'd rather have it than the kitchen compost is a little too full. And then we'll be good to go. The lighting in here is pretty terrible, because a storm rolled in while we were doing that, so aren't you glad I have front-facing flash? Yay! Alright, say bye, Burbs! Yep, that's a bye. All the chirping is a bye. Take care. Bye.